It was a stressful spring.
But in the big picture, that's a good thing, right? For the overall team development. How much of an obligation did you feel to help that offense grow?
Yeah, it was. It's so cool to see those guys. Obviously, you got a veteran O-line coming back. And then, just with the offensive mindset they have now, there's so many weapons, so many people can get the ball, so many people can get the ball in certain ways, and it's a lot of situations where it's like we can't be right, and you just gotta rally and make the tackle, live for another down. Hopefully they don't keep running that same play.
Some explosive plays from T.J. Washington today. Is that something you've seen in practice a lot this spring?
Yeah, definitely. TJ's one of those backs where you kind of can put him anywhere. Obviously in between the tackles he can do it. Outside zone he can do it. Release him out the backfield, throw him the ball he can do it. Line him up as slot receiver he can do it. And that's kind of a defensive mindset where it's like increase your value. He's one of those guys where he just wants to be on the field. And that's like what we need. We need guys who doesn't matter what position he's at, as long as he's out there, he's happy to compete.
How do you stay disciplined knowing, the offense is going to try to trick your eyes and all that? Is it pretty easy just given the work you put in, or how do you kind of ride the wave of trying to stay, gap and everything?
My position coach is Coach Wallace, and our defensive coordinator is Phil Parker. So it's, you give them a day after seeing the play. I don't even got to look for answers. They just come back and tell us everything.
System, in the offseason. And I think what you saw today was still just partial of their playbook, and I think they've still got a lot to install. But for 5 weeks, I think they're doing a pretty good job of every week putting something new and still trying to get better at it.
Are you surprised by the number of guys who chose to come back on this defense?
Not necessarily. I mean, we all kind of communicate and talk with each other, and once one person came back and another came back, it helped because we all want to play with each other, and so we just all like being around each other.
Jay said you guys had a big dinner, and about the only one at that dinner that didn't show up was Coop. I mean,
well, Coop was still there. I mean, everyone was in play to come back. Obviously, that was eligible. So, but obviously, we hope Coop gets drafted. To a great team at Program, and hope he goes really high. And so we're just all really just enjoying each other's successes and hoping we all do really good things.
How's the new offensive kind of helped you guys prepare? It's a different look this spring. Has that helped you guys?
Yeah, it definitely has helped us. Anytime you're going against a different scheme or a different look, I think it would help because any team we play during the season could do something different. If you get more looks at one thing, it help see a team that's kind of similar.
A lot of players talking about the new offense. There's a lot of motion, and you have to really be more patient and really pay attention with your eyes. Like, how do you see it from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I would say more or less the same thing. Reset motion is probably going to happen. That's they're trying to obviously do different things numbers-wise and shift a gap or whatever. And so I think in the back end it's just really communication. Pre-snaps and then getting into
You can just put more plays on to show what I can do. I feel like I can still prove more what I can do. Improving my skill set and just having more games under my belt. So you can't go wrong with that. So
What's the benefit of having 8 proven guys coming back, leading this defense? Just a ton of familiarity, a ton of guys who have played a lot of good football here.
I mean, just we're just familiar with each other. So we know what we're gonna check into, how we know how to play off each other. So I feel like that's a really good thing to have as a defense, just that cohesiveness and we just know how to. We really played a whole season with each other. So I mean, it's always a plus.
What were some things that you had as far as feedback in your decision-making process to return for another year? Are there things specifically that you got feedback on that you feel like you're working on the most this year?
I mean, nothing really major. It's just I didn't have a lot of games under my belt because last year was my first year starting. My first year starting as a strong safety. I played catch my 4th year when I first started getting in the lineup. So didn't have any strong safety reps. So it's really just to get a lot of more experience.
What's the
guys who are sort of moving their way up the depth chart? What did you think you saw from guys like Lauk and Leighton Jones and all that today?
Yeah, both those Indy guys have gotten a lot better this spring, especially those two.
they've stepped up. They've been solid twos for us. I think that they're starting to push for competition, and that's all you can ask out of those guys, that they try their hardest. And you don't have to sit here and say, oh, my time's coming in 2 years, 1 year, whatever it is. Just go every day. So I think they've had a really good mindset so far, and they've done really well this spring.
Tim Lester talked a lot about how that motion offense sort of slows the linebackers down and really gives the line a chance to get to that second level.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that you saw today and that you've been seeing in spring?
I think, I saw that the January, whatever it was, or February, whatever, when we first saw the film. You just saw that linebackers couldn't just exactly guess, and they definitely had to make a couple more reads. They had to be, more communicative with each other. So, it's been really good for our defense, I think. I think they'd say that. And, for us, obviously, it's been a good thing. And we've gotten to slow some pieces down now. I think throughout the spring, they kind of got used to some of the stuff. They started making adjustments. So, it was like every day we were making different adjustments, and they're playing different ways. But overall, it's definitely been a good thing for, helping us slow down the defense, being able to be more aggressive, I think, on the line. So,
awesome. Thanks a lot, man.
I'm sure you've been asked a lot about this. What kind of went into your decision on what to do for this season this year?
You're saying
just coming back and playing another year.
For me, I feel like last year was like I got my first start last year. I played a good amount of special teams, but there's a lot left on the table for me, I feel like. So there was no question before the season even started. I knew I was going to be coming back another year. So yeah, it wasn't really a question for me.
What does the spring do? I mean, obviously you've been kind of in and out and things like that. What have you kind of been able to do this spring? Do you think that's kind of made you a better player or advanced your game?
With being out with my injury and all, I've been able to just kind of, watch from like an outside perspective, like the defense, and kind of I've been meeting a lot with like other position groups, and like,
oh, cool.
Just because I don't have to, like, during practice, I'll just walk around and kind of see what other guys are doing, which kind of gives me perspective and also kind of tips and tricks to add to my repertoire with the D-line and DBs and other things like that. So yeah, kind of just learning.
Thanks, Kyle.
High school, I think it's quarterback too. So as you can see now, I don't think the change is I don't think it's a full change, but I don't think it's nothing crazy to him. I think he can play running back, receiver, all of them if you want to see.
You feel like the ground game made a lot of strides this spring?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like the O-line, they've been moving people off the ball. The running backs, they know where to hit the ball, and the tempos of certain runs, gaps, and wide zone and stuff like that. So our game has been going up, elevated.
What about the quarterbacks, Deacon and Marco? What did you see from them and growing in this offense?
They growing. It's going to take time, just more and more reps. More practice, a new offense. So that plays a role in the growing process. But I got full faith in them, and I know eventually, as you keep going on, they only going to get better.
Does this new offense put more difficulties on running backs for certain assignments, or is it actually easier?
I wouldn't say it make it more difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all still football. So it's like we got a job and we got to know what we're doing. So we just got to do our job. We got to go in the playbook and study and make sure we know what we're out there doing and execute.
What's that like?
Obviously, it's hard. You want to be out there with you guys. We have a lot of practices that get competitive. You're just standing on the sideline. But, I got to sit back and watch, everything unfold. I got to talk with the coaches a little bit and learn everything that's going on. So obviously, I didn't get to feel everything, how plays are ran because we installed some new stuff. But I got to watch and see. So come fall, hopefully we'll be ready to go.
It seems like there's been more explosive plays this spring. You've had a front row seat to watch that.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of motions and things like that. We have an NFL offense, so we're going to take some shots when we get an opportunity to. So yeah, we've got a few more explosive plays.
Just kind of a running back. How much gives you guys more energy as an offense?
Yeah, I think if you can get a couple explosive plays in the game, that definitely gives you momentum. It's harder on the defense too, right? So yeah, big plays help.
You and Cage